Man, what do we have here? Let's see. The sun is shining. It's a beautiful day. The rain stopped. And now I'm outside checking out my next project. Now, this came from Texas. This is a 2003, I believe, SL500. This is a very, very nice car, unique color. This is that bluish silver. Let's see. Very nice wheels, 19-inch Mercedes AMG wheels, staggered. Very nice. ABC suspension has failed, so that's why it's sitting low. And well, this is now my personal vehicle. It was sold to me at a very good price because of these issues, because the owner just wanted to disconnect himself from these problems. You see, if you own one of these SLs, you already know what I'm talking about. The suspension, the convertible top, these are common failures with this car. There is no cheap way of really fixing this car if you're going to a mechanic or a shop or Mercedes itself to get it repaired. It's going to cost you a lot of money. There's no way around it. Now, if you know how to do it yourself, yeah, you can fix the suspension for cheap, but most owners do not know how to do it themselves. So they get stroked. It's just a part of ownership. What am I going to do with this car? I don't know. I might do a coilover suspension. I might repair the ABC. The convertible top, I'll probably leave it as is. And I'll let the next owner potentially fix that if that's what he wants to do. See, this car is so beautiful. It's fun to drive even with the top, up. It's a beautiful car. Can't take anything away from these cars. So if the top stops working and you decide to not fix it, you still have a beautiful SL. Nobody knows the top doesn't work except for you. This car is nice. I think it's about 142,000 miles on it. I have to double check. But a very nice car. Got dropped off the other day. So I'll do whatever I decide to do with it. And now this is car number 10, I think. I think I own 10 because I sold one. Now I have this one. So I think I'm back to 10 cars. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. This Mercedes SL500, while driving it, I could hear a whoop, whoop, whoop sound and vibration when driving. And so that could be indicative of maybe a wheel bearing. I don't know, something rotational. Typically a wheel bearing, you'll hear it at a certain speed. Then it goes away when you slow down. But it felt like that no matter how fast I was going. So I thought, well, maybe it's the tires. Well, the driver's side tire or the wheel I took off. And look at what I discovered. I'm looking for uneven tire wear. Just a little bit of rubbing right here, but that's from the low suspension and it catching the fender. But looking down at the tire, it looks normal. Looks normal. Looks normal. Until it doesn't. Look. It's a bulge right here.
a very noticeable bulge. Can you see it? Flat and then bulge. Kind of hard to see, easier to see in person. But yeah, this is crazy. So this tire is compromised. This wall has been compromised. It's a very elevated bulge all right here. All right. Never seen that before, not that bad. That's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, so this tire is done. What brand is it? It don't matter. So why do I say it doesn't matter? Well, because it can happen to any tire. Now, some tires are more prone to it. If you buy a cheap tire, maybe so. I don't know anything about this tire, but I do know that it is out of commission. Good tread on it still. Doesn't matter though. If the wall of the tire is compromised, it's unsafe. So this bulge right here, this obvious bulge, it'll cause it to not only drive and handle horribly, but it can also cause it to rupture, which you don't want to do at a high speed. High rate of speed, that would be crazy. And these Mercedes don't drive slow. They are powerful cars. Nice size V8 motor, 5.0 liter V8s. So you want your contact with the ground to be proper. You want it to be safe. You want it to be even. You want it to be smooth. You want it to be quiet. And you want it to be intact. This right here is compromised. This right here will blow at some point. I don't know how it happened. It could have happened like, it could have impacted maybe a pothole and then compromised the strength of the wall and then caused the tire to release air where it should not have released it, meaning it's gone past that barrier. So now there's just a thin amount of rubber between the tire pressure, the air inside the tire, and the outside air, so outside environment. So this right here will rupture and will bust at some point, so that's unsafe. So on this Mercedes, this SL500, I received it with the driver's side front wheel contacting the fender. It was low. It was dropped down low, only in the front. So that told me that, okay, the whole system might not be compromised, but just something that's controlling this strut only is compromised. Well, upon further research, let me see if I can find my flashlight. All right, well, let me just get down here and show you. All right, so upon further inspection, I'm seeing, well, when I was looking at the underside of the plastic, it was only wet back here. It was not wet up here. See, typically I expect this high pressure line to rupture, and that was not the case here. It's wet back here. This line is wet. It's showing drippage right here, right? That's this line here. Now, somebody has already been in here because there's a couple bolts that are missing, like a couple bolts that secures it here and some nuts that secures the plastic lining were missing. So somebody has already been in here. So the previous owner had it diagnosed somewhere and they pointed to one of these components being messed up. Now, Mercedes does not put tape right here. So more than likely, they said that this line is compromised and needs to be replaced. If that's the case, if that's the issue, if that's where the leak is at, I can fix that, no problem. This line comes down and attaches to a block, like a three-way block for these lines. There's lines that run up inside the wheel well that comes down on the backside where the engine is at behind the heat shield. Comes down and it has this block, this three-way block. So these lines run to that block. There's two lines that do that. Each line has a block. So this runs to one of them, and this one runs to the other line, other block, and then it runs. There's another two lines that run to the rear that connects to that block. So in order to disconnect these, you have to remove this under paneling, and you have to disconnect it from the block. There's another bracket that holds it in place up on the underside. Remove that, and just simply replace it. That's what I'm going to do. Now I'm going to add some fluid inside this reservoir, and I'm going to pressurize it, turn the pump on, get it to operate so that I can find out exactly which line it is, just to make sure before I replace it. I could replace both, but I want to make sure without a doubt that I'm replacing the proper line, because this is more of a return line. This is the high pressure line. So this is the one that's likely to rupture, not this one. And I'm not going to go off of what they said, because that might not be right. This one might be the bad one. I'm just assuming that that's what this means. Because like I said, Mercedes did not put tape on their lines. Not up here. They did it down here, but not up here. So again, this is the high pressure line. So I want to see if it's, you know, if it's really this line, the lower pressure return line, or the high pressure line. The strut would be operational off of this one in particular. That has the most pressure. So if that's the case, I'll be able to fix that, no problem. All right, so there you go. There goes the leak. You see it? Surprisingly, it is that line. Nah, yeah, that's the line I thought it would be. Yeah, the high pressure line. Yeah. So, there you go. All right, so there goes the hole right there. This line is ripped, it's punctured, not punctured, but it's compromised. There's a blowout right there. So once I put fluid in there and pressure, well, I guess it, you know, tried to pressurize, the pump did, and it shot fluid all over the place. I wish I would have caught that on film. But yeah, so that's the mess right there that it created. And that's why this front driver's side strut will not stay up. Now, that's an easy fix for me. All I have to do is remove that line and replace it. I have several of those lines. All right, so it's not so much of an uncommon issue. You have that line that ruptures and this high pressure line, one of those that ruptures. Common issue on this ABC system. So I am going to replace that line, get this ABC working again, and then sell this car. There's no reason for me to invest, $1,300 in parts, plus a pump, $1,500 in parts. And then the labor, I'm not getting paid for the labor. This is a personal vehicle that I'm going to sell. So I might as well keep the ABC original and just sell it as it is. It'll be an easy fix for me, not so much for someone else who has to pay somebody to do it, to diagnose it and to replace it. And then to fill it with fluid and do the rodeo. All of which I can do myself. Rodeo is just cycling the fluid through, pressurizing it, making it go up and down, putting fresh fluid in. In this case, I'm gonna just fix this line, put some new fluid in, just cycle it through. I'm not gonna replace all the fluid. I'm just gonna get the air out the system and make sure that it works. And then the ABC is good on this car. So not a hard repair, not difficult at all. I'll be able to do this no problem, no problem. Okay, now while making this content, I'm just thinking to myself, I teach everyone how to do adjustable coilovers, the Neomax, as you see right there, for the Mercedes, for the SLs. But I do understand the ABC system. I do understand why people keep the ABC system. I understand the advantages of the ABC system, but I also understand the disadvantages. Now, it would be unrealistic and unfair of me if I only talked about the negative. There's two sides to every coin. So I understand that there are those customers, those owners of these Mercedes R230s, the CLs, the S-classes, those who love ABC. I understand and I acknowledge that some of these customers and owners will keep ABC. And so I try to address certain issues and ways to repair them for those who do want to keep ABC. Now, in this instance, this line here was bad. Only the driver's side was sinking down. This line right here had a hole in it. As you can see right here, this is a high pressure line, and when under pressure, it there you go. Try to focus in a little bit. So while under pressure, this thing leaks out. This line came from right here. It was one of these lines that hooks up to this component right here. The line that's highest of pressure is the one that's more susceptible to busting. This might be like considered a return line. This right here is the high pressure line that creates all that pressure. So when it goes, it goes. There's nothing you can do about it except replace it. Now, thankfully, of these two lines, either one of these are easy to replace. They're just equally easily replaceable. You have to get up underneath to do it. The lines run down here. There's a bracket that holds it back, and it attaches to this right here. This is that three-way I refer to, this Y or whatever you want to call it. This thing right here. There's two of them. What feeds to this, or what is actually connected to this, are the two lines that run up along the driver's side of the engine. The ones that are hard to get access to, the ones that people have to lift the motor to replace. So they've come up with different ways to just cut the line where it breaks, because it is a high pressure line on the other side that feeds to that front valve block. And when those break, when either one of those break, you just cut it and create one of those high pressure connectors. Because to lift that engine, I mean, it costs a lot of money and time and effort, and most people don't have the capability, so they have to pay a professional or a shop to do it, and they will take advantage of you. All right, so these two lines that run down, the one line here and the other line that I just removed, like I said, it connects to this block right here. And then on the back side of the block, it runs along the rear of the engine, rear of the car, to the rear valve block driver's side. So this line right here is the one that was ruptured, the high pressure line. So I already removed, there's a bracket in here that holds it back, that holds it or secures it to the body of the car. Remove that bracket, remove it from the, I guess there's a pulsation dampener up front, up top. Remove it from that. There's usually some kind of like electrical tape that's wrapped around it. Remove that and then drop it down, pull it out. You have to remove, of course, some of this underbody crap to get to it. All right. But that's how you do it. Those are 17 millimeter nuts. Sometimes you have to brace the actual block right here in order to get enough leverage, counter, I guess, leverage to break those loose, because they are on there very tight. But yeah, that's what I did, guys. This is the line. I have several of these lines because I do several ABC coilover swaps, and so I keep lines, I keep parts, and so I'm replacing it. Now this car is my personal car because I received it from a customer who didn't want to keep putting money into it, and they figured I was the best person to sell the car to. And so, of course, I got the car at a very good price because the ABC is compromised. And really, guys, these cars are some of the best cars on the road when it comes to handling, performance, just not reliability. The best way to make this car more reliable is pulling out the ABC suspension and installing adjustable coilovers. I'm just telling you, because what I'm about to do, okay, that's just one problem. It can happen again. It can next time be one of these high pressure lines. It can be the valve block itself. It can be the pump. It can be the high pressure line in the rear. It can be the struts. This car, this system, this hydraulic fluid suspension, this active body control suspension is so susceptible to failure. It's ridiculous. That's why a lot of these are parts cars. That's why a lot of these cars are sitting in shops, sitting in people's garages for sale, because people don't know what to do. They love their cars, but it's going to fail. The ABC suspension is going to fail. So you can continue to put money into it, continue to fix it, especially if you can do it yourself. Okay, that's cool. I recommend that if you're able to get down and dirty and nasty, because you will get nasty and greasy. It will get all over the place. Stuff is disgusting. And the last thing you want to do is be out cruising around, dressed nice, feeling good, playing your favorite music, AC blowing, or you have the top down. And then, boom, you get that red ABC light, and there you go. Your day is just ruined. Who wants a car, no matter how beautiful these cars are, who wants a car that is always prone to failure where it has to get towed home? Not failure like weak battery, or I got a worn out tie rod, or, okay, my alternator's starting to go out. Regular stuff, Axle's starting to have wear and tear. The regular stuff. No, we're not talking about that. We're not talking about regular car maintenance. We're talking about suspension failure. The thing that your car depends on to drive and to be on the road safely. And so when that suspension goes and it sinks down, and then your tire catches this fender and it gets all bent up like this. Even if you bend it back, you see how the paint's all chipped up now. But the front drops low and it scrapes and bends the fender. And God, now you gotta get it towed. And when they try to tow it, they don't know what they're doing because the front end is so low and you're turning up your front bumper. Thankfully, this bumper didn't get tore up because only the driver's side sunk down. But in most cases, the whole front end drops. And it's scraping and digging into the concrete or onto the tow bed. Oh, God, I got stories for days. Look at my content. Look at my videos, guys. This is a common issue, a commonality amongst SL owners and S-Class and CLs. So you guys just do what's best for you, all right? If you want to do a Band-Aid fix, which is what I'm about to do, because I'm selling this car, I don't really care. This is a good car. Suspension, is the flaw. I don't even think the convertible top works. I'm not sure. But I wanted to address this issue first. All right, I'm selling this car. So I'm going to give somebody else, the next owner, the opportunity to have a nice running SL. Beautiful car. ABC suspension is working. The suspension is functional. No lights. I'm going to do that to this car. You might say, but Brandon, you're an advocate. Goldelementautoworks is an advocate for Silver's Neomax adjustable coilovers. I am. But guess what? They're not free. Those cost about $1,300. And then the pump was what? $179.99 to replace the ABC pump with a standard power steering pump. And my labor is not free. So if I were to invest that much effort and time and money into this SL, guess what? I'm going to ask more for it. I'm going to leave it up to the customer to make that choice. If they want to convert it to adjustable coilovers or they want to keep ABC. Whatever's best for them. You see, this is all about profit here. I'm trying to maximize my profit on this vehicle. I'm not trying to invest, $4,000 plus my time and my work, my labor into a car and then ask the same price for it. Doesn't make sense. So I'm going to fix the ABC, sell it as a good working Mercedes SL. And what somebody else wants to do with it afterwards, fine. It's up to them. Shoot, they might even bring it back to me if it fails again later on down the road or when it fails down the road and they want to convert it over to coilovers. I'm here. See, that's how I make my money. I give free advice, consultation, things of that nature. But my labor is not free. Those parts are not free. And so that's why I'm going to fix and preserve the ABC. So, you do what's best for you, I do what's best for me, and I do what's best for my customers, my clients. All right? So if you're interested in buying this SL after I replace this line, let me know. I'll post further updates regarding if the top works and any other issues that this car might have. But this is a beautiful car. I love this silverish, bluish color. Beautiful car. There will be some changes to the car, though. I'm not selling it as is. I am taking these wheels off. I'm swapping it out with some other Mercedes wheels. This tire has a big, giant bulge in it. Let me see. Because when I was driving this car, it was bloop, 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 bloop. And I couldn't figure out why. Well, there you go. I don't know if you really see it in the camera. But yeah, there's a big bulge along this side right here. It's hard to catch it. Hard to see it. Can you see it? Yeah, this whole side right here is lifted up and this is sunk down. Well, yeah. All right, so that's why it's going bloop, 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 bloop. So I'm going to replace these with some different rims. These are very nice rims. I believe these are 19-inch AMD 5-spoke. I like those. But I'm going to put something else on here. And really, this car is beautiful. Very beautiful. Very, very, very nice. Very nice, very nice. I think it has like 140,000 miles on it. But I'm going to go ahead and go back to what I was saying. I'm going to go ahead and replace this line, put another line in place. I have several of them, and I'm going to put this fluid in it, these right here. This is what I use. All right. I'm considering putting this on my website. You can buy it there. And let's see what happens. All right. All right, so I just started it up. The line is installed, it's in place. I replaced the line with another one. Check for leakage. Gotta tighten that up, make sure that's not leaking right there. There's not as much pressure on this line as it is the line that I replaced. Just make sure that that's just for me installing it. But yeah, I don't see anything shooting out anywhere. Make sure when you're doing this you have safety glasses on, because if a line were to rupture because it didn't have any pressure, it didn't have any ABC pressure in that front, with that line leaking, that pressure was strong, it was bad enough where it ruptured that line. So keep in mind, that's a lot of pressure. And if you have a component that's compromised, such as the accumulators, the little rubber, not rubber, but the little diaphragm in there, they call them hydrogen balls, whatever you call them. Nitrogen balls, yeah, nitrogen. With impact, when you hit bumps, it's supposed to absorb the pressure. And when those diaphragms wear out, they no longer absorb the bumps, the impact. It shocks the ABC system, and it will rupture the weakest point. That line happened to be maybe the weakest point. It definitely was the most high pressure line in that part of the system, and so it caused it to rupture. So that's something you have to consider. Pulsation dampeners are susceptible to internal failure, and if it overpressurizes, a line can rupture, or it could be due to an accumulator that has broken down internally, and it will cause a line to rupture. So these are all things you have to consider. Why it ruptured? Over time, yes, these lines do wear out. For instance, I grabbed a couple of my lines, and I was looking at this one. I grabbed two sets for my storage, just in case one didn't look as good as the other. But look at this. I took a closer look, and look how damaged this line is. See, it's already started to pull away. So this line is no good. So obviously, this high pressure line is high pressure, and it breaks down. This is what it is. This is what it is. This is what you have to deal with when it comes to ABC. All right. So I'm not getting the ABC light. Nope. I'm getting that common SOS light. 145,000 miles. Everything looks good, guys. So that was the issue. The line was jacked up. I replaced it with a good line, a used line. Added fluid to it. I'm going to check the fluid amount, make sure I have enough fluid in there. I added just enough to get the system started, so I had to add some more fluid because that's low. And yeah, repair is done. All right, so I'll put everything back together, lower the car, and give it a drive around, make sure everything is good and stable. But again, with ABC, you got to be prepared. It might blow again. You just don't know. It might blow again. It will eventually have some issues down the road, but it's up to the new owner what he wants to do with it. I recommend Neomax. All right, guys. So thanks for watching. More content on the way. Love your vehicle. Do what you got to do to keep it on the road, guys. Whatever it is that you feel you need to do to keep your beautiful Mercedes-Benz on the road, do that. I'm an advocate. All right? Like, share, subscribe, comment. Let me know what you need to know, and I'll see if I can find out what you need to find out. Talk to you later. Peace out. All right, so here it is, guys. Sitting pretty. ABC. Everything's working. When I first put the car back down off the jack, it lowered all the way. So when I started it, the red ABC light was on. And then I just hit the button to raise it, and it rolls right up. There you go. No fault codes. Everything's clear now. What I don't like about ABC is there's so many other factors that you have to consider. One side maybe higher or not leveled out. All these things you have to consider. You have to keep in mind that there's a lot of sensors involved. There's sensors on the valve block. There's sensors on each strut. There's sensors on the control arms. There's sensors on the pump. See, all of this stuff is relevant to the proper operation of the ABC. A lot of things send signals to the module that operates the ABC pump, the suspension. On top of the struts are these plugs that send signal regarding dampening height, pressure, extension, pressure. On the arms are sensors that indicate levels, accuracy. On the pump, there's a sensor that indicates the pressure of the pump. The valve blocks, sensors that indicate when and when not to open and close the valves. It's a high-tech system. A lot of pressure. A lot of pressure. Things can go. Things can rupture. Things can bust. And unfortunately, that's all a part of owning a vehicle with ABC. But it is a dynamic, unique suspension system. All right, now here goes the other factor that you have to consider regarding ABC. Is, like I said, there's a lot of sensors that's constantly operating. And oftentimes, an indicator that there's something going on with your suspension is it will tend to raise and lower on its own. Now, earlier, I was just taking video content, and I was seeing how the front was raised up higher than the rear. Now, this can be a problem. This indicates that it is seeping through the valve blocks where it should not be. It's seeping back out of the struts or in and out of the struts. It's raising and lowering, raising and lowering. Those valve blocks should be shut off. So that indicates that the seals or the O-rings need to be replaced in one, if not all, the valve blocks. If it's in the front, it means it's the valve block likely in the front, right there in the front driver's side fender. If it's in the back, it's the one in the rear. But yeah, the valve block needs to be rebuilt. Those seals are allowing fluid to bypass the closure of the valves, and so that's indicative of a leaking valve block that needs to be rebuilt. So that's something you have to consider regarding these ABC suspensions. It's just maintenance, man. It's just maintenance. It is what it is. It ain't what it ain't. They're not reliable. When they were new, they were, but as they age, they become less and less reliable and problematic and expensive to maintain. Or it's going to require a lot of work on your part to do it, for those who know how to do it. So it's just something that you have to consider, guys. Something you have to consider. All right, so like I said, ABC is cool. We know it's not reliable. When it works great. And when it doesn't, it's a bad day. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get this car where it needs to be parked temporarily while I take care of some other matters. I'm going to drive around here just to get a feel of it. I have some kind of wobble because of that front driver tire. It has it's uneven, it's not flat. It has a lifted or compromised wall, or the surface of the tire has bulge to it, so I need to address that issue. Like I said, I'm gonna take these wheels and tires off, put a different set on to eliminate that issue. But you just, when you have ABC, man, it's just, you're always on edge. You're waiting for that white light to pop up, or the red light, which is the worst case scenario. And when it does, you just have to, do what you have to do. Either fix it or replace it with adjustable coilovers. In this case, like I said, I decided to fix it because this car is going on the market. Not to say that if I did adjustable coilovers, it wouldn't sell. It'll probably sell quicker because that reluctancy to buy these cars because of that suspension, that issue is resolved when you go with adjustable coilovers. But I only recommend Silver's Neomax, unless you're gonna spend the money and go with the RMT and get broke off about $5,000. But and that's just for the parts. But I highly recommend the $1,300 Silver's Neomax adjustable coilover suspension. It's very reliable. It's proven itself time and time again. So that's the best route to go with. You'll save the most money and you'll get the best results for the price. So that's what I prefer. It doesn't take a whole lot of money to be able to make this car reliable, stable, and to feel good on the road. RMT, I think, introduces the sway bar and the pump. I mean, I sell the pump. I sell the Silver's Neomax adjustable coilovers. I just don't do the sway bar because it's not necessary. And for normal driving conditions, it's not at all necessary. So this is the route that I go with: adjustable Silver's Neomax adjustable coilovers. All right. So I'm putting this car in place, parking it where I'm parking my extra cars because I don't have space, because I have more cars coming. A car from Oklahoma and a car from Alabama is en route. So between today and tomorrow, I'll be having 2 more cars dropped off. My CL600 I just put in the garage because I have to mess around with some things in the engine to create better boost than what it's actually producing at this time, so that I can get that one ready to sell as well. So I'm just doing what I have to do with what I have so that I can move some cars around, sell some cars, and keep business rolling. So yeah, again, this is an impressive car. Everything I think works as it should. There you go. So now just have to get it sold, I guess. I don't know. But I don't want to, again, put too much money into this car. I'm trying to fix the things that need to be fixed so that I can go ahead and move this car on to the next person and make sure everything is functional and operational. All right. So those are my suggestions regarding the suspension. If you are going to repair it, and if you get tired of repairing it, go with the Silver's Neomax adjustable coilovers. All right. Go to my description in this video. Hit the link. Place your order. If you have any questions, give me a call. Area code 513-967-8079. You can call me or text me. So what do we have here? We have here paperwork from a 2003 Mercedes SL500 that I recently purchased from Texas. Now, I love it when they come with a lot of paperwork, a lot of invoices, a lot of estimates, some real good details here. And I like it because you can find out what has and what has not been done to your vehicle when you buy it. So I love it. Good owners typically do this. They keep a little file, and hopefully it comes with the vehicle. Now, this invoice here really caught my attention. This is a paid invoice. Somebody paid $3,043.42. So I was curious as to what was done. Now, if you open this up, some of the stuff makes sense, such as this right here. Okay, replace the power supply control unit because you had the red ABC light on, or not ABC, but the battery light was on. All right, and they paid this much. It's a lot of money, but it comes with the territory. Now, this is the one that's throwing me off. The radio inoperable. Replace both fuses and radio and sound amp. Now, I'm assuming that this right here is 5 labor hours, and they charge them $567. Now, that's a lot of money to replace 2 fuses, right? I know it takes time to diagnose a problem, but still, 2 fuses. Couldn't you cut the customer a break? Nah. This is what you pay when you take a car to a shop. There's labor costs associated with it. But man, for 2 fuses, that's crazy. Yep, it is what it is. All right, and here goes another one for $6,826.97. Let's see what was done. Look at this. Lower ball joints. Replace both lower ball joints. This is how much the parts cost. Look at the labor. 6 hours, I guess. $1,054.20. Golly. You guys can see the rest. This is crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Check both batteries. Charge $55 to check the batteries. Let's see. Top won't open all the way. Replace PSC control unit. All right. That was $1,600, 72 cents. Oh, man. Strut rod. Noise and left front. Replace both front guide arms. The guide arms? $1,200. I thought it was the struts. $1,200 for the guide arms. This is crazy. All right, red battery light again. Test and replace auxiliary battery. That's the front battery. $340. And look at this one. Both front lower control arms. Replace both. $1,073. I need to start charging more for my labor. God. I tell you. And this is filled with invoices and estimates. I mean, man, a lot of work has been put into this car. That's good to know, but it's also sad to know. Whew. All right, guys. So I have a little pleasant surprise down here on the street. This car I purchased, but I got it for a very fair price. It has some suspension issues. the ABC was not working, and I decided instead of replacing it with coilovers to just fix the ABC. So this car right here is a, I think 2003 or 2004 SL500. Very unique color, very beautiful. I was also told that the top doesn't work. Well, the top is working. I think that was due to a dead battery, the consumer battery. When that consumer battery, because these cars have two batteries, one in the front, one in the rear, and the rear battery, when it gets low on voltage, it shuts off certain functions. So the top works, as you can see, the top is down. It has plenty of power. The ABC suspension, hydraulic fluid suspension, works properly now. Now these wheels, I am taking these wheels off. I'm putting different wheels on. There's a bad tire on one of these wheels. It's bulged on the surface, and it causes it to go like bloop, 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 bloop. Well, I'm taking these off anyways to put some different wheels on. And this car will be on the market. I am selling this car. This car has 145,000 miles on it. All right. Very nice car. Very nice car. So if you're interested in a Mercedes SL500, let me know. It has everything that a Mercedes is supposed to have. Working air conditioning, leather, wood, radio works, everything works proper. Ice cold air conditioning when you don't want to have the top down. Even with the top down, AC feels good, right? So yeah, I'll be putting some different wheels on here with some good tire tread. Make sure that it runs smooth. I'm selling it because I have too many cars, obviously. I don't have a need for another Mercedes. I don't even know, probably 11, 12 sitting over here right now. 2 of them are customer cars. I have a lot of stuff going on over here. So this right here needs to go, all right? So no warning lights, everything works as it should. You're getting a good, reliable Mercedes SL, all right? If you want original suspension, well, this has it now, and it works, so. No, let me pop the hood. Now this one came out of Texas. I'm gonna go ahead and transfer it into my name and throw it on the market, okay? If you guys are interested in a Mercedes SL, we're still in the summertime, still the summer season, so it's still a good time to ride around in a nice Mercedes with the top down. Nice car. Nice car. So like most of these Mercedes, the car just needs to be driven. It needs to be shown some love. If you don't drive these cars, and they just sit in the garage, well, you're going to have some problems out of them. So drive them, enjoy them. That's why they were made. That's why they were built. So if you're interested in Mercedes SL, let me know.